Gomez is going to catch you eating that banana, Tawana. Man, I could smell that thing as soon as you got on this bus. Crystal couldn't help laughing, though. Well, I didn't have any time to eat breakfast. I'm starving, and Crystal couldn't hear what else her friend was trying to say because she had crammed half the banana into her mouth. "No eating on the bus," shouted Mrs. Gomez, the bus driver. Crystal and Tawana burst out laughing, and bits of banana mush came shooting out of Tawana's mouth like an unchecked sneeze. "That's it. I've had it with you kids. I'm writing you up for breaking the rules again, Tawana. Don't you know how lucky you are to be riding on this Combos bus, to be going to school in Gilmore? Well, you'll just have to find another way to get here next week." "A whole week? You're going to punish me for a week for eating breakfast? That's not right," Tawana said. She was just getting started. "Shut up, Tawana. You're just going to make it worse," said Crystal, jabbing her friend in the side with her elbow. "I don't care. I hate her. I hate Gilmore. That school's like a jail." "Don't do it. I'm telling you, you better shut your mouth right now," said Crystal. But Tawana was off. There was no stopping her once she got going. Mrs. Gomez ignored her and started writing notes in her daily log. The two friends rode the rest of the way in dread of what would happen next. As soon as they got into the building, Crystal went along while Mrs. Gomez dragged Tawana to the Combos office to speak with Miss Jones, their coordinator. "Am I hearing this right, Tawana?" asked Mrs. Jones. "What's the point? You already heard her side of the story. What you need mine for?" "That attitude is not helping you, Tawana. Did you or did you not eat a banana on the bus this morning?" "You know I did. I tried to eat it while I was waiting for the bus on the corner, but it came too early and I didn't have a chance to finish." "So what are you supposed to do when that happens?" asked Mrs. Jones. I know. I'm supposed to wait till I get to school, then come here and eat breakfast in your office." "But I was starving, Miss Jones." "Well, there's nothing I can do about that. We've got rules, and you broke one of them. Again. And Mrs. Gomez says she won't even see your face on that bus till next week. Now I have to call your mother and tell her, and believe me, I'm not looking forward to that." "I'll call her. I did it," said Tawana, sheepish now at the thought of her mother's reaction to having to drive her to school for a week. "Couldn't you try to make it just a couple of days, please, Miss Jones?" Tawana asked. "I won't do it again, I promise." "I can't change her mind, but a sincere apology to Mrs. Gomez might work," Miss Jones said. Tawana sighed, rolled her eyes, and walked over to the bus driver, who was sitting in the main office. "Mrs. Gomez?" "Yes. What do you want now?" "I want to apologize. I know I shouldn't be eating on the bus. I was just really hungry and in a big hurry this morning. I'm sorry. You have every right to kick me off the bus for a week, but that doesn't really punish me. It punishes my mother. I'm going to call her and all, but would you consider a shorter time than a week?" "You sit just laughing at me. You think this is easy, what I do every day?" "No, ma'am," said Tawana. "I wasn't laughing at you. Crystal just said something, and I was trying to answer her with a mouthful of banana, and she couldn't understand me. And then you said no eating on the bus, and I just couldn't control myself. I'm sorry. Really, we weren't laughing at you." Mrs. Gomez narrowed her eyes and looked at Tawana with her head tilted just a little. "Well, your mother is a fine woman and a friend of mine. If you promise never to break the no-eating rule again, or any of the other ones for that matter, I'll say just 2 days instead of 5. But I'm warning you, Tawana." "I know, Mrs. Gomez. Thank you so much." Tawana left the office and walked down the hall. Crystal was waiting there for her by the lockers, and Tawana told her about how she got Mrs. Gomez to agree to 2 days instead of a whole week. Crystal said, "Your mom's going to be so mad at you." "I know," Tawana looked down guiltily. "Just last week she was complaining about how she didn't get home from her job at Woolworth's till 7 at night, and couldn't I help get out the clothes for my little brother? And how was she going to get everyone up and out of bed by 5 all by herself?" I'm dead. Unfortunately, that was not the last of it. Derek couldn't resist telling the entire homeroom what had happened on the bus, so all the kids knew that Tawana, who happened to be one of the darker-skinned Combos kids, was caught eating a banana. When Derek told the story, he romped around the room like a monkey, his fingers scratching under his arms, jumping all over. That's what Tawana and Crystal walked into right before the morning announcements came over the public address system. "Shut up, Derek," Tawana said. "If there's a stupid gorilla in this school, it sure isn't me." "You won't see me eating no banana, I'll tell you that, Tawana Banana," he said. Crystal could see her friend's eyes filling up, her throat swallowing hard, trying to keep her tears from spilling all over everything. She should not cry in front of this homeroom. Crystal knew it hurt Tawana all the worse, because Derek was one of them, just another kid from Boston. Crystal jumped in as soon as she could, but it was too late. "Derek," she said, "you don't know what you're talking about. Look at yourself. I can't believe you." Derek acted as if she wasn't even there. Finally, Ms. Lewis, their homeroom teacher, who had been out in the corridor talking to someone, came back into the room, putting an end to the painful moment. Derek stopped his antics abruptly and swaggered over to his desk, smiling broadly at his audience. Crystal thought, why did he do that stupid stuff? Didn't Derek know how ridiculous it made not just Tawana look, but all of them, Derek included? Crystal hated lunch at the same table with Fong for a few days now. Munching on carrots, chips, and chocolate chip cookies, Crystal and Lee talked about Mr. James and Ms. Jones and all kinds of things. Crystal noticed they would both put their hands shyly over their mouths if they were both trying to say something and still chewing. She thought that was funny. Suddenly, Tony, a large-sized 7th grade boy, came crashing into their end of the lunch table, spilling their drinks. Crystal jumped up and wiped the table off with extra napkins. "Tony, watch what you're doing. Look at yourself. You've got food all over you," yelled Crystal. "He pushed me." Tony was laughing as he pointed at Danny. "Don't blame me. I couldn't help it." Crystal wanted to hit Danny good and hard. She looked over at Lee, who was still sitting down, red-faced with shame. Crystal sat back down and stared at Lee until he looked her in the eye. "Lee, you can't let them keep doing this to you," she said. "What am I supposed to do? I cannot stop them from these things," Lee said. "Well, you just can't let them walk all over you. Did you ever try yelling at them? Or pushing back?" "What good would that do? I don't want to cause a scene. I just want them to go away and leave me alone."